Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at ways organizations can partner with the Men's Resource Center,
Yeah.
the MRC,
Yeah,
and how they can work together to make a real impact. So you've probably heard of the MRC,
of
right?
course.
They're all about empowering men in our community, helping them break those negative cycles and build a brighter future.
Right. They do incredible work.
But have you ever stopped to think about just how many ways there are
hmm
for organizations to partner with them?
It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
The MRC takes this really collaborative approach, like they're woven right into the fabric of the community. They don't just operate in isolation.
That's interesting. So it's not your typical donate here and we'll put your name on a plaque kind of thing.
Exactly. And the coolest thing, they actually have a whole webpage dedicated to these partnership opportunities. It's on their website, mr-center.org.
So we're talking about a whole ecosystem of support here. A lot more than just your standard donations, huh? In this deep dive, we're going to kind of uncover some of those unexpected wins, the win-win situations that pop up when different organizations team up with the MRC.
It's all about shared value.
Yeah.
Both sides gain something really meaningful from the partnership.
hmm
And the range is just amazing. I mean, you've got everything from your local corner store
Well, wow.
to city hall, even religious groups. They're all finding these unique ways to collaborate.
Okay, so let's start with something that everyone can relate to. Local businesses. Now, I know what some people might think. Businesses, they're all about profit, right?
Yeah, that's a stereotype.
But here's where things get interesting. Supporting the MRC can actually help a business's bottom line.
It's true. And we're seeing more and more of this concept called corporate social responsibility. Businesses are realizing that doing good in their community can also be good for business.
So it's not just altruism, it's a smart business move as well. The source material highlights event sponsorships,
Mm.
as one example. Let's say there's a local hardware store, and they sponsor the MRC's annual job fair. It's not just a feel-good donation, it's targeted marketing, right?
Absolutely. That hardware store is showing that they're committed to their community, and they're showing that to a very specific audience, potential customers who share the same values as the MRC.
Makes sense.
And we can't forget the potential for recruiting new employees, too, especially skilled workers, people who are ready to work and give back.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. What about employee morale? How does that play into things? Imagine a team from that hardware store volunteering at an MRC event. They're working together toward a shared goal. I imagine that could really strengthen their bonds as a team.
Oh, for sure. That goes way beyond your typical team building exercise. It gives the employees a much deeper connection to the company's mission and values, and that leads to more engagement. And employees sticking around longer, that's a benefit that's hard to achieve otherwise.
It's more than just making people feel good then. It's a solid strategy. Our source material even talked about businesses offering internships or even job placements for people who've been through the MRC's programs.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It creates a pipeline to these motivated individuals who really want to prove themselves. These are people who've often overcome a lot of obstacles, and they're eager for a chance to turn things around.
I can see that.
And that translates into dedicated employees who bring a whole new perspective to the workplace.
It sounds like a win for everyone. Okay, so we've seen how local businesses can really benefit from partnering with the MRC. But let's change gears a bit and talk about nonprofits. These organizations are often running on tight budgets, and they have limited resources. So how can partnering with the MRC help them to really maximize their impact?
Well, it's all about strategic collaboration and playing to each other's strengths. For example, imagine a food bank. They've got a surplus of supplies, and the MRC needs to provide meals for its clients.
Okay, I'm following.
They could team up to make sure those resources get to the people who need them most. They reduce waste and reach more people that way.
That's a great example of sharing resources. But, nonprofits are always fundraising too, right?
Oh, yeah, constantly.
Are there any examples of how partnering with the MRC can help them boost their fundraising efforts?
Absolutely. Joint fundraising is a really powerful tool. Picture this. The MRC and a local homeless shelter. They decide to co-host a 5K run to raise awareness and funds for both of their missions.
I like that.
It brings in a much bigger group of supporters and donors, and it creates a stronger sense of community involvement.
It's great to see everyone working towards a common goal. But with all these different organizations working together, how do they make sure the right people get connected to the resources they actually need? It seems like it would be easy for people to fall through the cracks.
That's where a good referral system is critical. Let's say someone reaches out to the MRC for job training, but they also need somewhere to live. The MRC can easily connect them to a partner organization that specializes in housing assistance.
So it's like this web of support,
Yeah.
making sure everyone's needs are met.
Exactly, a holistic approach.
Yeah, I'm starting to see this theme of interconnectedness, where each partnership makes the whole network stronger. It's creating this incredible safety net for men in our community.
It's a really powerful model, and it's not just about quick fixes. The MRC is focused on long-term empowerment, too, especially when they partner with educational institutions.
Okay, now we're talking about real lasting change. What sorts of partnerships are we looking at here?
Well, think about a community college partnering with the MRC to offer, let's say, a plumbing certification program.
Hmm.
They could tailor the curriculum to the specific needs of the MRC participants, maybe incorporating some life skills training alongside those technical plumbing skills.
Now that's a great idea. It's not just about getting a piece of paper. It's about equipping these men with the tools they need to be successful in all parts of their lives. And what about getting a job after the program?
Well, that's where the collaboration really shines. Imagine a local plumbing company sponsoring the program and offering apprenticeships to the graduates. The company gets access to skilled workers who are ready to learn and contribute. Right.
And the graduates gain on-the-job experience, which could lead to a real career.
It's a win-win-win. It helps with the skilled labor shortage, it empowers men with valuable skills, and it makes the whole community stronger. Okay, now let's dive into something that might not sound as exciting, but it's just as important. Partnerships with government agencies and the public sector.
Yeah, that's a big one.
This might sound a little dry, but this is where some really powerful changes can happen.
You're absolutely right. Think about it this way. The government has a lot of resources, and it's their job to serve the public. But they often lack the hands-on experience of groups like the MRC.
So it's about bringing those two worlds together, right?
Exactly.
Matching the government's resources with the MRC's expertise to create programs that are really effective.
A perfect partnership.
Okay, one example that came up was collaborative grant proposals. Let's say the city wants to tackle homelessness among men.
A big issue.
They can partner with the MRC to develop a program that goes deeper than just giving people a place to sleep. All right, you have to go further than that.
We're talking about a program that addresses the root causes of homelessness. It'll be incorporating job training, mental health services, and addiction treatment.
It's a much more holistic approach. It gets to the heart of the problem.
And by working together, the MRC and the city can access funding that they might not be able to get on their own.
It's all about strategy.
Now, our source material also mentioned public policy advocacy. What does that look like in the context of these partnerships?
Well, it's about working together to make positive changes. At the legislative level, let's say the MRC partners with the city to advocate for changes in zoning laws, to allow for more affordable housing, specifically for men who are transitioning out of homelessness.
That's a perfect example of how these partnerships can go beyond just providing direct services. They can tackle those systemic issues. They keep these cycles of poverty and disadvantage going.
Absolutely.
It's about creating long-term solutions that benefit everyone.
Now, let's switch gears for a minute and explore something a little more outside the box. Cooperative ventures. Our source material mentioned this really interesting concept, a community resource co-op.
I'm intrigued. I'm picturing a community-driven marketplace. But instead of selling goods and services, they're sharing resources.
You're on the right track. Imagine a platform where businesses, nonprofits, individuals, even government agencies can all contribute resources to support the MRC's work. It could be anything, really, from donating office supplies and equipment to offering pro bono legal services or even providing temporary housing for MRC clients.
Like a community chest where everyone chips in what they can, and then those resources are used strategically to meet the needs of the MRC and the people they serve.
Exactly. It's a way to combine resources and create a system of support that's more sustainable and equitable. And the best part is, everyone benefits.
Okay, I'm with you so far. But what's in it for the contributors? Why would a business, say a grocery store, want to participate in this co-op?
Well, think about it. That grocery store might have excess inventory or items that are slightly damaged that they can't sell. Instead of throwing those things away, they can donate them to the co-op, get a tax deduction, and support a good cause at the same time.
So it's a win-win. The grocery store gets a tax break and reduces waste, and the MRC gets valuable resources to help their clients. What about other kinds of contributions?
The possibilities are endless. Let's say a local law firm wants to give back. They could offer pro bono legal services to MRC clients. Their junior attorneys get valuable experience. And the MRC clients get legal support they might not be able to afford otherwise.
It's a brilliant model, this whole cycle of giving and receiving, where everyone benefits and the community as a whole is strengthened. All right, let's move on to a more traditional type of partnership, corporate partnerships. We already touched on things like event sponsorships and employee volunteering. But what other ways can corporations get involved?
Well, practical donations are huge. Let's say a construction company has leftover building materials from a recent project. Instead of throwing them out, they could donate them to the MRC, where they could be used in job training programs to teach men valuable construction skills.
I love that. It's so direct, so tangible. You're literally giving these men the tools they need. It's not just about writing a check.
It's about putting your support directly into action.
And it fits in perfectly with this idea of a circular economy, where resources are used efficiently.
Reducing waste and helping the environment.
A win for everyone. Okay, now let's turn our attention to community and religious organizations. These groups are often at the heart of the community. They provide a sense of belonging and support. How can they use their unique strengths to partner with the MRC?
Well, they often have a lot of volunteers, and they really understand the needs of their community. Imagine a local church organizing transportation. For MRC clients to get to appointments or job interviews, it might seem like a small thing, but it removes a major barrier for people who don't have reliable transportation.
It's about thinking outside the box and realizing that sometimes the most helpful thing you can do is address those everyday challenges. That can hold someone back.
It's about offering that wraparound support, not just addressing the immediate need, but also looking at all the things that surround that need and figuring out what it takes for someone to truly succeed.
Okay, so we've seen how local businesses, nonprofits, educational institutions, government agencies, even community and religious organizations can all partner with the MRC in unique and impactful ways.
And we've only scratched the surface. There are so many other creative and innovative partnerships out there.
All right, before we get into those, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far. It's clear that the MRC has developed this really multifaceted approach to partnerships. They get that real change comes from collaboration, from bringing together all the different strengths and resources in our community.
It's a powerful model, and it proves that positive change doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when we come together and work strategically to create a ripple effect of positive impact. So stay tuned, we've got a lot more to explore.
We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to explore even more ways that organizations are partnering with the MRC. It's really inspiring to see how deeply the MRC has integrated these partnerships into every aspect of their work.
What strikes me is how they've really challenged that old idea that men's issues are somehow separate from the well-being of the whole community.
That's so true. Supporting men isn't about isolating them. It's about recognizing that when we support men, we're also supporting families, communities. It creates a positive ripple effect that benefits everyone.
Exactly. The MRC's partnerships really highlight that interconnectedness. So let's move on to another area where these collaborations are having a big impact: health and wellness.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, health is important for everyone, but what's different about the way the MRC approaches health and wellness partnerships?
They understand that well-being is more than just physical health. It's about the connection between our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, even our spiritual well-being.
So it's a holistic approach, which aligns perfectly with their mission of helping men thrive in every aspect of their lives. The source material mentions some interesting examples, like fitness programs, grooming services, nutrition partnerships.
Yeah, those are great. Let's start with fitness. Imagine a gym partnering with the MRC to offer discounted memberships or special fitness programs designed for men recovering from addiction or who are struggling with mental health challenges.
Exercise can be such a powerful tool for recovery. It's not just about physical health. It's about confidence, stress relief, a sense of accomplishment.
Right. And think about the impact of grooming services. A barbershop could offer discounted haircuts or grooming workshops, helping men feel confident and presentable, especially as they're trying to reintegrate into society, or maybe prepare for job interviews.
Sometimes those little things can make a huge difference in someone's self-esteem.
Absolutely. And then there's nutrition. A grocery store could partner with the MRC to offer discounts on healthy food, or maybe a meal prep service could provide affordable, nutritious meals to MRC clients.
That addresses a basic need and encourages healthy habits.
It's all connected.
So these are just a few examples of how health and wellness partnerships play a vital role in the MRC's mission.
Yeah, they're really important.
You mentioned earlier that the MRC is also focused on long-term empowerment. How does that fit into their partnership strategy?
Well, one critical area is employment and career readiness. Having a steady job can do so much more than just provide a paycheck. It gives you financial independence, a sense of purpose, that feeling of dignity that comes from contributing to society.
That makes a lot of sense. A job can be a real turning point in someone's life, especially for men who are trying to rebuild their lives after facing challenges. So how are the MRC's partnerships addressing that?
Well, they're working with businesses to create different pathways to employment. Think about a tech company offering coding workshops or a construction company providing apprenticeships.
Those are great examples, giving men the chance to learn skills that are in high demand.
And it goes beyond just those hard skills. Our source material also talked about partnerships that focus on things like interview skills and professional attire.
Yeah, those are important too. Like imagine a clothing retailer donating suits for job interviews, or a dry cleaner offering free suit cleaning. It's about removing those obstacles and giving men the confidence they need to succeed.
And transportation is another big one. That can be a huge barrier for people trying to get to work, school, appointments.
Absolutely. Our source material mentioned partnerships with car dealerships, rideshare services, even bike-sharing programs.
Because sometimes something as simple as having reliable transportation can make all the difference.
It's about taking a holistic view
Hmm.
and addressing all those factors that contribute to someone's well-being and success.
So it's not just about getting a job, it's about creating a support system that helps someone keep that job and thrive in the long run.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another important area, financial literacy and legal support.
Those are essential for everyone, but especially for people who are rebuilding their credit or who are dealing with legal issues.
Right. Think about a bank partnering with the MRC to offer workshops on financial literacy, teaching men how to manage their money, build credit, plan for the future.
Empowering them to make smart financial decisions.
And what about pro bono legal services? A lot of men who come to the MRC might have legal issues that need attention, maybe related to past convictions or child custody disputes. A law firm could provide free legal aid and help them navigate those complicated legal systems.
It's about recognizing that legal problems can be a huge roadblock for people trying to reintegrate and providing the support they need to overcome those obstacles.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about community engagement. How can the MRC partner with businesses and organizations to foster a sense of community involvement and support?
They're already doing some great work in that area. Think about co-hosted events, like a community barbecue or a charity fundraiser, where the MRC partners with a local restaurant or catering company. Those events not only raise awareness and funds, but they also bring people together from all walks of life.
And employee volunteer programs are another great option. A company could encourage its employees to volunteer at an MRC event, maybe mentoring men in the job training program or helping with administrative tasks.
It's a win-win. It builds team morale for the company, promotes a sense of social responsibility, and creates those connections between employees and the community.
It's about moving beyond that traditional transactional relationship between a business and a nonprofit and building a sense of shared purpose and community involvement.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more area, marketing and sponsorship partnerships. How can those benefit the MRC?
Well, think about it. The MRC needs to reach a wide audience to spread the word about their services, their mission, the amazing work they're doing.
And that's where marketing and sponsorships come in, right?
Exactly.
They can leverage the reach and expertise of other organizations to amplify their message.
Imagine a local radio station partnering with the MRC to create public service announcements about men's mental health, or a popular influencer on social media sharing information about the MRC's programs with their followers.
It's a great way to reach more people and break down the stigma around asking for help.
And it's not just about awareness, it's about generating support and resources. Like, think about a local brewery creating a special edition beer with the MRC, with some of the profits going to support the MRC's programs.
That's a creative way to get the community involved.
It's all about collaboration, using each other's strengths to create a win-win.
So we've seen how all kinds of organizations can partner with the MRC. But what about individuals? How can we as individuals get involved and support this mission?
That's a great question.
That's what we're going to talk about now. We've been focusing on these big partnerships, but at the end of the day, real change starts with individuals, right?
Exactly. Individual action is the foundation of any strong community.
So it's not just about waiting for organizations to take the lead. It's about each of us recognizing that we have a part to play.
We all have something to offer.
And the MRC makes it really easy to get involved.
Yeah, you don't have to be a big shot CEO or a millionaire philanthropist to make a real difference.
Remember those everyday examples we were talking about earlier? Like offering someone a ride, donating clothes, volunteering at an event, or even just telling people about the work the MRC does. Those little things add up.
They really do. It's about changing our perspective. Instead of thinking, what can organizations do? We should be asking ourselves, what can I do?
And there's so many possibilities.
So many ways to contribute.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to turn the focus to you, our listener. What unique skills, talents, or resources do you have that you could bring to the MRC?
Maybe you're good with your hands. You can teach some basic carpentry or plumbing skills. Or maybe you're a great listener. You could offer a supportive ear to someone who's struggling.
Or maybe you're a natural organizer. You could help with event planning or fundraising.
Or maybe you have a big social media following, and you could share information about the MRC with all your followers.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where your passions and the MRC's needs overlap. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? How can you use those things to make a difference in the lives of men in our community?
And don't underestimate the power of just spreading the word. Tell your friends, family, colleagues about the MRC. Share this podcast, visit their website, follow them on social media.
All those things help to build awareness and support.
Remember, change starts with each of us. When we all take responsibility for making our community better, we become a force to be reckoned with.
So what are you waiting for? Visit the MRC's website at mrlakecenter.org. Check out their programs and partnership opportunities. Find your own unique way to get involved.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, remember, each of us has the power to make a difference, one step at a time.
We'll see you next time.